Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat, and for today, when I tell you guys that this this video has been a labor of love, it is so. I have literally been working on this for like the last 2-ish months, trying to get all of the palettes, having to make the looks with them, and it's been taking a hot minute. So I am super duper excited to just really get into this with you guys. I have looks for every single one of the purple palettes, so as I am talking through my thoughts on the palettes, you'll have the look up in the corner, and so you'll be able to see like how I was putting it together. But we are comparing 9 purple palettes. We're gonna jump into this in just a second. I did want to let you guys know who the winner of the giveaway is. Let me preface that with, even if you didn't win that one, I would highly suggest sticking around, because I did not intend to do 2 giveaways this close together. The About Face one was supposed to be back in February, but we have hit my 1-year mark, and so I am doing a double giveaway for that. And so we have a neutral giveaway for my neutral lovers, and we have a colorful giveaway for my colorful lovers. So at the end of the video, I'll go over all of that, what you guys can win. So 2 people have the chance to win that giveaway. But the winner of the About Face giveaway is actually a very long time subscriber, and that is Heather Garner. So congratulations, Heather. That's awesome for you. So I will be messaging you after this video goes up, and yeah, congratulations. I'm super duper excited for you. You'll have to let me know how you like the products. And let's go ahead and get into all of these lilac palettes. I am going to go in the order in which I feel like they rack and stack. So this is my own personal opinion on these palettes, and I definitely want to know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you have tried out any of these palettes, if you would have maybe rack and stacked them differently, make sure that you let me know down in the comments. We can have a real awesome conversation about everything. But my number 9 palette is going to be from Huda Beauty. That's not the right way. It's the lilac palette, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Very cute color story. And I am going to try and keep these discussions at like a minute per palette, so we're going to go real quick with each of these so that I'm not like having this video be an hour long. So my primary critiques with the Huda Beauty palette, it is a very pretty color story, but as I have with literally every single Huda Beauty palette that I have, the metallic shades, like you can see the divots. I have to gouge them so much to get any kind of pigment to come up, whether it be on my fingers or with my brush. It doesn't matter. I really have to dig in there because I get hard pan literally the minute that I touch them. And it's not like one of those things where it's just like perhaps that there's an outer coating to it. No, because I've gone deep enough on these shades that it's not just the outer coating. And so I get really upset with that, because the shades in general would be really pretty if they would show up. And I think part of the issue that I have with the matte shades is they're unfortunately like a little bit too close to each other. Like especially these 2 shades are very similar, and on the face you can't tell the difference. And so I find that to be a little bit frustrating. And there's also not like a really deep shade in here. Like the darkest shades that you have are these 2 right here, and those are really still very much like in the light pastels. I know it's a pastel palette, but I would have liked one shade that is like just a smidge darker. I will say that I like the combination of like pinks and purples in here, so that you can kind of create a little bit of a gradient look. I think that's really nice. But overall, I think that the metallics were really disappointing on this one, and that kind of just really turned me off to the whole thing, because the process itself was just not great to try and apply it. So that is why it is the bottom one. Then the next one that we have, and really the Huda Beauty one is the only one that I really didn't like. All of the others, it was actually really hard to rack and stack, because there were elements of each of them that I absolutely loved, and then elements where I was just kind of like, eh. So this is where it gets real tough for me. But the next one in spot 8 is the Ultraviolet from Urban Decay, and this is what this guy looks like. So you can already see a much nicer range of deeper shades on here. I thought that I know because it's a naked palette, they feel the need to like include neutral shades, but I feel like if you're gonna name the palette Ultraviolet, like let's lean into the ultraviolets and just have it actually be a full purple palette. I think my favorite shade is actually this like light greenish shade, which it's not a purple, but that shade was beautiful as like that pop of color on the inner corner. I absolutely loved how that turned out. I think that the metallics overall were all right. They blended with each other, and I don't even know if I would really call them metallics. They're really more of satins than metallics, but they blended really, really nicely. The only thing that I was not a huge fan of is that the only matte shade that you have is this lighter lilac kind of purple, and all of the rest of these are some form of satin or metallic. And so I like to have a good mix of matte shades with my metallics, so I was a little bit saddened by that. There was also a little bit more fallout with this one than some of the other palettes that I was working with. I mean, fallout doesn't really bug me that much because I normally do my eyes before I do my face, and so I can just wipe it away. But there was that note that there was definitely more fallout with this guy. So that is why this guy is in number 8. Number 7 is going to be the Ace Beaute Paradise Fallen palette. So this guy is the second largest palette, just to the Urban Decay having the most, but since that one was like split in half with purple shades and then neutral shades, this one is the palette that has the most variety on purple shades. My only regret with this one is the look that I chose to do. I'm gonna wholeheartedly admit that that one was on me. I should not have gone with the halo eye. I hated the look at the end, but that is not a reflection on the quality of the palette. That was a reflection on me being an idiot and not choosing my color story very well for that one. So I'm not going to comment on like the end result of the look. I'm just going to comment on how well the formula worked for me, because that was definitely user error on that one. The matte shades were very, very pigmented, very easy to work with. The metallic shades, I will say they were a bit more muted than I would like. Really, the only one that was super duper strong on there was the Moon Glow shade, which is that silver guy. The other metallics in the palette, Twilight, Night Sky, those are a bit more muted, but they do also look more like they're satins rather than true metallics, and so that's okay. But I did think it was interesting that the majority of the palette is actually matte shades. Like for the purple shades, you literally only have these two as not matte shades, and then you have the two above it as well. Everything else is matte. And so if you are looking for a palette that is going to give you a really nice matte color story, then the Ace Beaute one is really, really good for that. I think that the only frustration that I really had with the metallics was I had to keep reapplying, because it was like you would blend and it would just blend away into nothing. And so I had to keep reapplying to maintain any level of sheen. So that's why it's number 7, but the color story is really, really nice. You do have a great amount of depth with the shades in here, because you really only have a couple lighter shades and then you've got a really good range of deeper shades. And so this would work for a lot of people. So did really like that about it. All right, number 6. This might shock you. The Kaleidos palette only made it to number 6, and this one is the Futurism 6 Lunar Lavender. So when I did my week of Kaleidos, I purposely did not include this one in there because I knew that I was going to have this video. But if you want to check out the entire week of Kaleidos and see which of the palettes I love the most, this is the palette. So really nice color story, a little bit more on the slightly more cool toned. And this guy right here is definitely a duochrome, and so it's showing up as blue in the camera, but when I look at it, it's very clearly just purple. And it's actually a very similar purple to this guy right here that I am seeing, just in the shimmer version of it. So that was really, really cool. I think having the two browns in there, like you've got the lighter brown on this side and then the deeper brown at the end, I think is kind of similar to the Ultraviolet palette. Like, I don't need for it to be there, but I mean, it makes the look have a little more variety of color where it's not just a true purple look, but I feel like you're already getting that just by having the duochrome on there. Like, there's no need to have the neutral shades along with that. I think that one of the other struggles that I had with this one is that the metallics that Kaleidos has, their formula for it, is one that tends to have the glitter go everywhere. But this one, it was like on a whole other level with just getting glitter everywhere. And it was the same with the matte shades, actually, that they had a decent amount of fallout as well. And so that's part of why this guy didn't rank higher, because I did end up really liking the look, but it was just fallout for every single shade that I was using. Like, I was having to clean everything up every 2 seconds. Other than the fallout issue, I feel like the formula in general of like how the shades apply, how they blend with each other, how sheer versus opaque the shimmers are, I mean, just phenomenal. And so really the fallout, and that I wish that this was just a full-on lilac story rather than including the browns, those are my only critiques. And so that's why this one isn't quite as high, because some of the other palettes that are higher did not have the fallout issue and blended equally as nicely. Number 5 is going to be Juvia's place. We have the Violets palette here, and that is this guy, and just a really, really nice palette. I thought this one was very nice, and especially for only having 6 pans, just like with the Kaleidos one, you can make a really nice look with this. You can create a lot of different looks if you want because of the depth and difference in shades. I love that they have this really dark shade on here just to really smoke out the eye, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. The metallics on this one are just so good. I love it. The matte shades did not have any fallout with this one. It was just the metallics that did have somewhat of fallout, but it wasn't too bad. I think that the only complaint that I really had was that with this deeper shade, it did take a little while to blend it to the depth that I was wanting, and so I did have to keep going back and forth and really try and work with it. But the metallic shades were really nice. I mean, I have 0 complaints on the metallics. I mean, and that's for like literally every Juvia's Place palette that I have. The metallics are just phenomenal. And so I think with the matte shades, if they just, the deeper one, if that had just blended a little bit better where I didn't have to work quite so hard, this one probably would have been one of my top choices. So that is that guy. Number 4 is going to be one of the only luxury brands that we have on here, and that is Marc Jacobs. And this palette is lovely. I mean, it is all the cool toned just dreams that you could possibly have. Like, oh, just, I love the amount of gray undertone with this palette. It was so nice. The mattes worked really nicely. The purples were great. I will say that even though it is really nice that it's such a cool toned palette, I think that they went a little bit too gray on a couple of the shades, and so really the only true purple shade that you're seeing is this middle guy right here. This deeper shade does have some purple hues to it, as does this lighter shade, but they're already heading towards a significant amount of gray undertone, and then these two are just silvery grays. And so I do kind of wish that they had given us a little bit more variety on the cool tone side of purples, just because I would love to see companies showing just how many different shades you can get on a cool tone palette, where it doesn't have to be that you just throw in actual true grays. Like, you can have, with blues and with greens and purples, you can have so many different tones on there without just having it be gray. So I think that was literally my only critique, but everything worked really nicely together. So this guy is actually a bit of a duochrome, and it's really interesting with the shift that it has, because it goes from this kind of definitely silvery gray, and it shifts to almost a bit of a warm tone brownish shade. So definitely adds a bit of warmth to the look, and so I thought that was pretty unique. I don't have really any shades that have that particular shift, so I thought that was really nice. And so yeah, man, Marc Jacobs has just, I'm so glad that I tossed them down on in my video on like what brands I was wanting to try for this year. Marc Jacobs was on it, and that was simply based on the fact that they had a lipstick, it was a lip gloss, that I had tried last year, and I was like, this ended up being a lot better than I was expecting. Based on that, I've bought like 6 or 7 Marc Jacobs products, and they have all been fantastic. So, most underrated luxury brand ever. All right, now we're into the top 3, and I am super duper excited. So, number 3 is gonna be Tammy Tanuka's Chinchilla palette. It's a beautiful, cool toned lilac palette. I mean, you can tell I use the crap out of these 2 metallic shades in here. Like, I live for this palette. And I mean, the only thing that was kind of a bummer was that this guy did arrive a little bit damaged, and so I have like a repressing tool that has saved so many palettes that have arrived broken. I think that for the size of the palette, has a lot of variety. Like, you can see, got a little bit more of a warm toned purple there, and these 2 silvers are actually definitely both duochromes. So this guy has a purple to silverish blue shift, and then this guy is a silver to purple shift. And I think that the only thing that I would complain on this one is kind of similar to a couple of the other palettes, that unfortunately they're like, I wish there was one deeper tone on here so you could really deepen that look. But everything else like was absolutely stunning. Those 2 metallics in the middle with those silvery tones, just spot on. I think that the only issue that I had with the metallics was that they were a little bit crumbly in the pan, but honestly I would probably chalk that up to the fact that the 2 of them had broken a little bit, and so since I did have to repress it to a certain degree, that's probably part of why they're so crumbly. So take that with a grain of salt. So I really think that my only critique was that I wish that they had a little bit of a deeper shade, because even this guy down here that has that bluish kind of undertone to it is not as deep as I would like. It's certainly not like the Juvia's Place where it has that really nice deep shade. And so I wish that they had done that, but these metallics just speak for themselves. They are absolutely stunning. Also, fun fact, they do offer these as single shades, and you can get the mini version. So if you're not wanting the full size like this guy, you can get a little one that has just these little itty bitty pans. I love when brands do that, where you can literally get whatever size you want and just test it all out. So love it. All right, number 2 is going to be from Glam Shop. It is this guy, and this is actually the look that I'm wearing today. This was the last palette that I was waiting on, and I am super, just absolutely love it. It is so, so nice. So this is the color story inside of here, just all the purples. And you definitely have a good mix of like warm tones and cool tones. And so I pretty much touched on every shade except this guy up top here. And this guy is literally the only reason why this is not my number 1, because I don't understand why this is here. I mean, I know that in the camera it does look a bit more like it is a purple, but when I swatched this guy, it's like a cross between navy and gold. Like, that is the shift that I'm getting on here. I'm not really getting any purple. And so I think that's literally the only thing that I had an issue with, because there was only a little bit of fallout. It wasn't really too bad at all. A couple swipes with a brush and it was gone. The matte shades were super duper easy to blend, very pigmented. I mean, just true to any Glam Shop palette that I have used, just really, really nice. So I think that really that's the only reason why this isn't my number 1, is that I just didn't understand why this guy was there. I mean, it's stunning on its own. Like, I would just wear that shade by itself and it is beautiful, but I just really didn't feel like it fit in with the rest of the color scheme. But because literally all of the metallics, all of the matte shades blended together perfectly, that's why this guy is so high up on here, because I absolutely love it. That leads into our number 1, which is from Copacetic Cosmetics, and that is the Butterfly Kisses palette. This guy is absolutely stunning, just really, really beautiful, and definitely a nice cross between warm and cool tones on there, but they blend together very, very nicely, so you don't have to just stick with one or the other. They work together really well. Has 2 of the really awesome flaky glitters that Copacetic Cosmetics makes that just are absolutely stunning. They create this gorgeous foiled look when you use them, and the only shade that I really never use on here is the glitter in the middle, just because I don't like wearing glitters on my eye. But just because I don't like glitter, that doesn't mean that other people won't love it, and it is a very good glitter shade to match with the rest of the colors in the palette. And so I'm not going to dock it just because I don't like glitters. Like, that seems to me like not a valid reason. but there was like hardly any fallout at all, and the metallics blended absolutely beautifully together. There's multiple duochromes in this palette, just absolutely stunning. This guy as like a pop of color in the inner corner is absolutely gorgeous, has a really nice pink to purplish kind of shift. This guy is also equally as gorgeous. I mean, just all of the shades, and it goes from a really nice lighter shades to just the deepest tones, so you get a full range at all of the different shade levels. So I think that this guy is so pretty, and the shades are very nice and unique. So I mean, performance wise, on point, everything blended together beautifully. I have no complaints about this guy, so that is why it is my #1 choice. But make sure you guys let me know what you think, if you agree with my choices, if you disagree, if there's some that you would have put a little higher, if there are any palettes that I did not mention and you are like, why aren't you talking about that one? But before we go, let's go ahead and talk about this other giveaway, because I actually have been on YouTube now for literally 1 year, and I can't believe that I stuck with it for this long. It kind of blows my mind, but I wanted to do a double giveaway. And we did also hit my goal of having 200 subscribers at the same time, and that was like earlier when I was thinking about it and I was talking about it with everyone. I was like, yeah, if I hit 200 and I hit my 1 year mark at the same time, we'll do a double, otherwise it'll just be one giveaway. And we hit it, and I wasn't even thinking that we were going to, and so I was like, well, we're still gonna do a double giveaway. So here we are. But let me go ahead and show you guys the neutral one first. So each of these is getting 6 items, and I am super duper excited. So the first item is this little quad palette, and the pans are actually huge on this guy, and so it's really nice. And this would actually, honestly, like as I was looking at it, work really well as a face palette, but it is in fact a neutral eyeshadow palette, and it's from the Glam Shop. Then we also have 2 single shadows that you're gonna get, one from Sydney Grace and one from Davina. And yes, this is a multi-chrome. Then you're also getting from Sydney Grace a loose glitter, just in case you want to add some sparkle. And this one is the Elegant Lady shade, and so it's a bit more rose goldy, but definitely has that holographic shift to the glitter, so really nice. Then my absolute favorite liner for using for tight lining my eye is the LA Girl liner. It's the Shockwave Neon shades, and so you will be getting this turquoisey one, which is definitely one of my favorites, and so I thought I would include that for like a little pop of color. And then the last thing is from Copacetic Cosmetics. You'll be getting this lip shade, and it looks a little bit darker in the camera, but it's actually not that bad. This is the shade Wifey Type, and it's kind of a bit of a mauve-y type shade. So that is the neutral one. And then the color one starts off also with a quad from the Glam Shop, but this is more of a golds and blues. So you have 2 different blue shades and then 2 different neutral shades in there. And I mean, I wouldn't really call that a neutral shade because that's a really nice gold. Then the Sydney Grace shade that you're going to be getting is this guy, definitely more of a multi-chrome. And the other shade is from Copacetic Cosmetics, a little bit more of a color on there. Then you're going to be getting the purple Shockwave eyeliner and a true holographic loose glitter from Sydney Grace. And then from Copacetic Cosmetics, this one, see what I mean? This one's definitely deeper. So when you have these 2 together, you can see that this guy's more mauve-y, and then this guy is more of a deeper shade. If you like a dark lip, it's a good one. So that is the 2 different giveaways, and so in order to enter that one, all I need for you to do is definitely be subscribed and comment down below in the comment section which one of the 2 you are wanting to be put in the giveaway for, so that I know who to kind of, like which names need to go which of the 2 giveaways. So just let me know which one you're wanting to get entered for. But I thought it would be kind of fun to have a neutral one and a colorful one, because I know some of you guys prefer neutral looks and some of you guys are like all about the color. And so I wanted to make sure that I was taking care of everybody. So that's why we have 2. But hopefully you guys like it. I'm really excited. Like, these are some of my favorite brands. This giveaway is going to go for this entire week, and just like this last one, we will find out on Sunday's video who won. So also make sure that in addition to commenting down below that you leave your Instagram handle and that you follow me on Instagram. It's just Beauty Jacked, just like my channel, so that way I can get a hold of you. If you don't have Instagram, no big deal, just toss an email, whatever method you want to toss down there for me to get in touch with you. Hopefully you guys like it. Thank you so much for keeping, you know, up with my channel and just listening to me talk for the last year about makeup. I absolutely love it. It's so awesome that you guys love makeup as much as I do and that I just get to share my thoughts with you guys. It's been so fun, and I am super duper excited to see where this next year goes. I mean, indie brands are heating up, guys. I think it's gonna be pretty amazing to see where we go from here. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And let's just keep these comments going. Let me know what you guys thought of each of the different lilac palettes. I would really like to know if you guys agreed with my rack and stack, or if you didn't, which looks you liked the most. But if you made it to the end of the video and you have not yet subscribed, I think you should subscribe, just so that way you can be a part of the giveaway and you can see all of the awesomeness that is this channel. But other than that, you guys just go have a good one.